All right, we've got Rafael dos Anjos versus Tony Ferguson. I guess this fight's going down. If it's not going down, or if it falls through, I'm going to talk on it anyway. What would happen if they fight? It's 2016 right now. It's we're in the middle of October 2016 when we are talking about this fight, guys. This is something to be excited about. You know, I don't make videos about, you know, there's a lot going on in MMA, and I could make more videos if I really wanted to. But I usually make a video if I'm excited about something or if I feel like talking about something. And this is perfect. This is killer matchmaking. These are the types of fights that I want to see. You know, you have Rafael dos Anjos going against Tony Ferguson. I mean, Tony Ferguson, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Tony Ferguson. I'm a fan of his fighting. But man, I seen an interview with him. I think I saw two, and then I never watched any more after that. He was very arrogant and just like I was really like, ugh. I can't imagine anybody watching an interview with him, at least the way he was doing, the way he was acting. I can't imagine anybody watching that and being like, oh, I want to be a fan of this guy. You know, Conor McGregor is very arrogant, and he does get on people's nerves. Conor McGregor gets on my nerves, but not like this. In other words, Conor McGregor runs his mouth, and I'm one of those people. It's just like, you know, it's funny. People get amusement out of it, and it promotes the fights. But I'm one of those people. It's like, man, you deserve to get knocked out, you know. Well, anyway, Tony Ferguson was just like, he was just like, well, I'm so good. All my fast twitch fibers just take over. I see everything coming, and this, you know, I mean, it really wasn't pleasant to listen to at all. I mean, I did not like the guy at all after that, and I don't plan on watching interviews with him. But he's a good fighter, and he's on an 8-fight win streak. 8-fight win streak. He's never been TKO'd. He's never been KO'd. He's only been submitted one time. So basically, he's only lost once. He's lost 3 times. He lost twice by decision. You know, and depending on how those decisions go, I mean, that's also a long time ago. You know, so I'm one of those people, I don't really look at a decision as, I don't think that there should even be decisions. I should think you should either have a win, a loss, or a draw, or a no contest or something like that. But there are times when people, in 3 fights, someone just gets completely outclassed, and they win a decision, or and they lose the decision, and the other person wins. And so it lets me know as a fan, you know, who's better. Okay, like Tony Ferguson beat Josh Thompson by decision, and that's really, out of his last 8 fights, he's on an 8-fight win streak. It's really the only name that would really jump out at most people. He beat Josh Thompson, and that is very impressive that he beat Josh Thompson. So it lets me know that Tony Ferguson is the real deal. I mean, could Josh Thompson beat Rafael dos Anjos? I mean, we've seen Josh Thompson, you know, yeah, he's a great fighter. He could definitely beat Rafael dos Anjos. I would still have dos Anjos the favorite in my mind, but am I favoring dos Anjos versus Tony Ferguson? Man, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I mean, obviously Tony Ferguson hasn't been in there with the toughest opponents other than Josh Thompson. And Josh Thompson also kind of at the end of his career. He says he's gonna retire, but I don't know. I think he's still, as far as where these people are. I mean, I think Josh Thompson's still very skilled in his last few fights for sure. But now we got Rafael dos Anjos. I'm not going to get too into his record because we're going to be talking about these guys forever. You guys already know about Rafael dos Anjos. The problem with him is he's getting kind of old. He's getting kind of old, and he's coming off a loss now. And man, when these guys lose, it's like, you know, they just smell blood, man. It's like a pack of hyenas and an animal has been bitten and it's bleeding. I mean, there are just these little tiny hyenas that weren't so confident, not really confident, and that's kind of the thing. And you take somebody like Tony Ferguson on an 8-fight win streak with his head all swollen up, apparently, from the interview I seen with him. He hasn't been in there with the toughest opponents, but he's on a win streak. The guy's very confident, and you got Rafael dos Anjos coming off a loss. And not only does the losing does it affect your confidence, you also don't know where these guys are at. They took big punches and lost the fight, basically out on their feet. And you wonder where is this guy's brain? Is Tony Ferguson going to hit him one time and is he going to be dazed? We don't know. And so that's why this is the type of fighting I like this is the type of matchmaking I like to see. I don't want to see Rafael dos Anjos versus whoever is ranked number 2 in the world. I don't want to see that. I'm pretty sure he's ranked number 2 in the world. But when someone gets beat pretty badly and takes brain damage, I want to see where these people are at. So this is a perfect fight. Because there are people talking about Tony Ferguson, and he's talking about how great he is. So let's find out how great he is. Has he earned a title shot with the opponents that he's had? No, he hasn't. He hasn't fought the top guys in the division. But he's going to start fighting the top guys in the division. So let's find out. So did Rafael dos Anjos? He fought great. Did he all of a sudden get a little bit too old? You don't know. When these guys start losing, maybe he couldn't train. Maybe he couldn't train the way he wanted to train. Maybe his shoulder was bothering him, his knee was bothering him. Or maybe coming now he just took some brain damage, and then it's all, you know what I mean? So, is Rafael dos Anjos getting too old? Can he still fight? This is why we're finding out. Take somebody to come off a loss. Don't just assume that they're number 2 in the world, because you just took brain damage, man. If someone got knocked out or lost, maybe their confidence is shattered. That's what I'm saying. We've seen that with fighters. They're gun shy. They can't pull the trigger after they lose a fight. I'm not saying that Rafael dos Anjos lost one fight that he's going to be gun shy, that he got brain damage, that he's over the hill, but he's getting kind of old, and I don't like to assume that people at a certain level. I want to see who. In other words, the proof is in the pudding. If someone's coming off a loss, man, I'm sorry. If you lost a fight and you got knocked out or TKO'd, and we're not talking about Rafael dos Anjos specifically, I'm talking about in general, then you, in my mind, are not number 2 in the world, because we don't know where you're at. So we need to find out where you're at. And this is a really, really good fight. This is the type of fight that they should be making. Tony Ferguson versus Rafael dos Anjos. And I don't know. I don't like Tony Ferguson, but I remember when that interview that I seen with him, man, I'm like, ooh, I don't like this guy. And but I'm a fan of fighting. I want to see who the best fighters are. Okay, I'm not too concerned with all this mouth stuff. I want to see who the best fighters are. I want to watch good fights, and this is a killer fight. And I'm sure that Rafael dos Anjos is going to be the favorite, but man, let me tell you, Tony Ferguson's the real deal. I mean, he got a decision win over Josh Thompson. He's never been finished, and that's the thing. Dos Anjos has been finishing guys, but Tony Ferguson's never been TKO'd. He's never been knocked out. His brain's going to be very healthy. So you could make a case for either one. I mean, it's just kind of like a coin toss. If I was putting the odds, for you guys that bet and like to get people's opinions, on the fight, I really would have this pretty close. I really would have it pretty close. But Tony Ferguson's got a lot going for him. I mean, he's just up and coming, 8-fight win streak. You know, but these guys can get taken to school too. We've seen that before. Remember when we seen Miles Jury? There was a lot of hype around him. He went against Cowboy, and Cowboy took him to school, man. So we just might see. I mean, I would much rather see Rafael dos Anjos come in and just absolutely take Tony Ferguson to school. But I'm not confident enough in Rafael dos Anjos' skill level at this point in time, coming off a loss and at his age, that he's going to be able to do that. I'm really not. I would love to see that, but I kind of think that isn't going to be the case. I actually am kind of leaning Tony Ferguson here just because, yeah, I mean, guys, I know what it's like to get old. When you get old, you get old. And getting old sucks. So anyway, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the fight. It's a killer fight. I can't wait to see what happens. I hope it doesn't fall through. These are the types of fights. Man, as a fight fan, this is a fight. I mean, this is a fight. I'll see you guys later.